Well, we're in grave trouble. We've been in grave trouble since 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882. And we know the exact moment because that's when Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant in the world. And within 10 years, all of the industrialized nations and first world countries had shifted from wood as the common fuel to electricity. And, of course, we were getting our mineral supplements since the beginning of time from wood ashes. Since man discovered fire and how to control fire, we were taking the wood ashes and throwing them in the gardens. And our plants then we were going to eat sucked up those minerals, a.k.a. wood ashes, and we got our minerals in that fashion. Once we switched over to electricity, nobody had the wood ashes anymore to throw in the gardens, and nobody replaced those sources of minerals. So we began to be in trouble. Well, our peak of longevity and health is somewhere in the, maybe 25, 30 years ago. We've been ever acceleratingly going the wrong direction since then. In December 2008 cover article, Time magazine, it said, despite technological advances in medicines, Americans are sicker than ever. And, of course, what they said was the next sentence was that our kids are worse off. And basically what they said was that 75% of Americans will be burying their children, which is very scary when you think that 75% of Americans will be standing at gravesite burying their children, because if your kids are going to die before you do, that means you're going to be burying them. I can't think of a worse possible scenario to have to go through is to bury your children, our grandchildren. So what's going on here? Well, they're not getting any nutrition, and as a result, they're dying of all these terrible diseases that are totally preventable. And in many cases, people in the third world cultures, and certainly the people who live a long time, do a better job than we. And, of course, we've opted for medical technology as our source of health and longevity. And the people who live the longest, have 40 times 100-year-olds we do, are illiterate. They are third world cultures. They don't have doctors or clinics or hospitals or private insurance or government insurance. They don't have 911. They don't have ambulance service. They don't have pharmaceuticals or pharmacies, yet they have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. They have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. They have 100-year-old per 250 of their population. We have 100-year-old per 10,000. They live to be a healthful 90-something years of age. We live to be a very sickly 70-something years of age. So we have this problem because we've opted for technology. Look at one of the smartest, most technologically advanced guys ever, Steve Jobs, died at 56. He was given pancreatic cancer by eating stir-fried organic vegetables, stir-fried with extra virgin olive oil by his 5-star vegan chef. And then he went to the highest tech cancer doctors in America to try and heal himself instead of going to an old herbalist and the longest-lived people in the world in the Nicoyan Peninsula in the Pacific coast of Costa Rica and Central America. He'd still be alive today if he'd have done that. So we have to kind of reconsider, regroup, and begin to do the basics. So we have to take the 90 essential nutrients. We can prevent all birth defects. You can't name me a birth defect we can't prevent. We're talking about muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, Down syndrome, all these inborn errors of metabolism like PKU, and there's a million enzymes that can be missing, which do happen on occasion. People say they're genetically transmitted. That's not true. They're a nutritional deficiency of the embryo, heart defects, cleft palate, cleft lip, everything you can think of, including gay behavior, is due to nutritional deficiencies of the embryo. We are killing ourselves and killing our society. We're number one in one health category, and that's obesity. We're the number one obese nation in the world. Now, you would think, since we spend so much money for healthcare and the technology of healthcare, that we'd be number one in longevity and number one in health. We're not even close. When you just isolate out the top 17 industrialized nations, men are 17th, American men are 17th, American women are 16th. When it comes to longevity, when it comes to just comparing us with the industrialized world, when you compare us to all 204 nations, we're 60th in longevity, which means there's 59 other nations whose peoples live longer than us. We're 92nd in healthfulness. There's 91 other nations whose peoples are healthier than us, and God forgive us, we rank 41st in live births and first month survivability of our babies. That doesn't even count the abortion stuff if you want to throw that in. Well, so how do we solve the problem? Well, everybody must at least treat themselves as well nutritionally as we do our dogs and chickens and pigs and horses and so on. We need to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients to replace everything we gave up when we went to modern fuels and went away from wood. Now, nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth, so just throwing wood ashes in your garden is not going to solve everybody's problem. And so you constantly have to supplement, and this is what the 90 for Life program is. And we got like 25 different ways, depending if you like liquids or capsules or powders or whatever. We have all these different ways to accomplish it through the 90 essential nutrients. There's also absorption considerations. If you have a gluten intolerance, and that afflicts 30% of all Americans, 115 million Americans are gluten intolerant. There's gluten-free aisles everywhere. We have a gluten-free cookbook called Valerie's Gluten-Free Cookbook. We have the lifestyles of the top 20 longevity cultures and what they eat and so on. That's called Immortality. I urge you to get these things and save yourselves, and even more importantly, save your kids and your grandkids. We've got to change what we're doing. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We're not going in the right direction. We'll be back with more truth, justice, and the longevity way after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
Well, this is one of these things. Remember a few years ago there was a study that came out that claimed that kids born in the year 2001 would not outlive their parent, would probably die before their parents even. And this story that I've got from Natural News is kind of headlining all of that. As a headline of this story says, study shows that average child is now chronically ill. And they say advocates for conventional medicine claim that drugs and vaccines and other modern health interventions are responsible for extending the average lifespan and improving the quality of life. However, a study published in the journal American Academy of Pediatrics from a study that was done in 2011 tells a much different story, as they say that children are becoming progressively sicker, with more than half now stricken with some type of chronic illness. The original aim of the study was actually to assess the overall health of American children by comparing disease rates to factors like health care, access to it, and race, ethnicity, what state you live in, and any special needs status. But in the process, what they ended up doing was exposing a shocking reality that roughly half of the youth population aged 17 and younger suffer from at least one of 20 of the most common chronic health conditions. So overall, the report says that 43% of children suffer from at least one of these 20 conditions considered, even when obesity and other developmental delays were not included, according to Heidi Stevenson, who writes for Gala Health. And they say these conditions include allergies, learning disabilities, asthma, attention deficit disorder, ear infections, migraine headaches, speech problems, digestive disorders, depression, autism, and diabetes. When you add in being overweight and obese, that percentage jumps to 54.1%. And they say, according to the CDC, the number of kids that are obese between the ages of 6 and 11 has more than tripled since 1980. Rates of asthma, food allergies, learning disabilities, autism, and other health conditions have also dramatically risen over the past 3 decades. And they give some recommendations for how you can possibly avoid your kids getting one of these chronic illnesses. And they say that, avoid the GMO foods and chemical toxins, heavy metals, and other types of things. They say also you should really consider, they say that the vaccine schedule has ballooned from just a handful, probably when I was a kid, to back starting in the 80s, they start adding all these other vaccines to where now kids are expected to get upwards of 30 vaccines for all kinds of health conditions. And so it's really no surprise that kids are so sick, and why that 2001 that report about the kids born in 2001 aren't going to survive their parents because of all of this stuff that they're getting subjected to.
Well, you're exactly right. Of course, I'm out there giving 300 free lectures a year across this great land, and I see this. It's just one that makes you cry, because the government and the American people have put their faith in the medical system, who have legislated themselves into a protected monopoly, and they have created so many problems amongst people of all ages in America. They've created diseases such as sleep apnea out of a natural behavior called sleep apnea. It's a normal behavior. And then they've given us Alzheimer's disease, erectile dysfunction, and SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, all these birth defects. Every OBGYN who has a baby born under his care with a birth defect should be put in jail for reckless endangerment. If the baby dies, it should be for involuntary manslaughter. It should be put in jail. Put 1,000 of these doctors in jail, and the problems will be solved because we already know the answers. They're just not being implemented. And, of course, the general public has given over the care of their children to higher authorities, a.k.a. doctors, right? And so we have to take this back and do what great-grandma used to do, take care of the family with nutrition and herbs. If you go back thousands of years, we know exactly what they do and won't do. And give up the pediatricians, give up the doctors, and let's take care of our kids ourselves. And we'll triple their lifespan just like we've done with dogs. It is not that difficult. We have to give up relying on doctors to take care of our kids. Thank you so much, Doug. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Maryland. And Carl, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Carl, you're on the air.
Fine. Dr. Wallach, I've talked to you several other times.
Yes, sir.
At the present time, I've been able to reduce my prednisone without headaches due to being on the Healthy Start Pack, which you recommended, and also the Ultimate Daily. And I wanted to thank you for that. Right now, I've been diagnosed as having some adult attention deficit disorder, and I'd like to know what products I might add for that. And also, I heard that Pros FX, I'm taking a generic version of Flomax to help me sleep through the night. And I just was wondering, is the Pros FX going to help me do that so I don't have to take these prescription drugs?
Yeah, what do you weigh, Carl?
I weigh 180.
Okay, so you want 2 of those Healthy Start packs per month. That will allow you to have 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner. All that will be accomplished by the 2 Healthy Start packs per month. For the ADD, I would have you take the de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That's 2 bottles a month. That's for metabolism of the brain. I would have you also take the Smart FX, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's the DHAs and EPAs, which is going to give your brain cells the raw materials to make proper neurotransmitters, particularly cognition, problem-solving, also memory. And then for the Prost FX, I would have you take the selenium. Absolutely 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. The Prost FX, 3 of those twice a day. And you, after usually a couple of weeks, you're not getting up at night to go to the bathroom. You got to stay away from sugar. Stay away from fried foods, processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. And anytime you got something going on with the brain or the heart or the liver, I'd like you to get off of all gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, dry skin, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, asthma, chronic bronchitis, ADD, ADHD, and so forth. Usually gets a lot better or totally goes away. So no gluten. And when you've given up gluten, give up gluten. That includes if you have dogs and cats in the house, they cannot eat gluten-containing dog foods. They either have to get the gluten-free dry dog food or canned dog foods. Call me every couple of weeks if you would, Carl, and give me a kind of a progress report. You should be able to get off of Flomax, and I wouldn't just cold turkey off of it, but say after a couple of weeks on Prost FX and the selenium, I would go ahead and cut it in half, and after a couple more weeks, cut that in half, and after a couple more weeks, drop it, and so on. We'll be back after these messages.
Well, let's head to Mesa, Arizona, and Doug, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Doug, you're on the air.
Dr. Wallach, I sure appreciate all the help you've given me, but I have a lady that she's not been feeling well. Her body's been aching and real tired all the time. And so about 2 months ago, I got her on the Healthy Start Pack and Selenium, Sweeties, 4FX, and Herbal Rainforest, and got her off gluten. Well, I talked to her 2 days ago, and I've been staying in touch with her, but her body was just aging terrible from the waist up. And she really had terrible back pain and like muscle spasms. And she had a breast implant about 20 years ago that failed. But she didn't believe it was breast cancer because some days she feels all right. But she said she's had many colds and viruses and is taking prednisone.
Okay. Well, let's.
But now she has cancer now. She just had to go to the doctor. They found out
is this breast cancer?
To start in the breast and move to the spine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fine.
Sure. How much does she weigh?
Well, she's about 120 now.
Okay. When people have metastatic cancer, it goes to the bone, she'll be considered a stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, certainly serious, life-threatening stuff. But at the very minimum, we can give her a better quality of life. And there's many people who are sort of found themselves in her position. They belong to a group of people called Cancer Victors and Friends, and they're given, less than a year to live, and then 35 years later they're still alive, and the doctors who pronounced that 35 years earlier are all dead. So it's not necessarily a death sentence, but she's going to have to be very proactive and work at this and not give herself over totally to the doctors, okay? She's going to have to participate here and do some extraordinary things. This includes changing her lifestyle. You got to give up all fried foods. She's got to give up all processed meats and nitrates and nitrites. She's got to give up all oils. It includes margarines, mayonnaise, salad dressing, cooking oils, canned fish, packed in oils. Got to give them up. And I'd have her give up gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. Even if she doesn't think she's a gluten intolerant, she needs to give them up anyway. Maximize her absorption of nutrients, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And because she has cancer, I would give her one of the Pig Pack Pluses. There's no pigs in it, but the Ultimate Classic is part of our big study at Clemson University. It actually, in cell culture, killed 95% of colon cancer cells and 65%, I believe it was, of stomach cancer cells, and 30-something% of breast cancer cells. So at the very least, there's going to be a positive result of her taking the Ultimate Classic. I'd have her take a minimum of a half ounce twice a day. Shake it up real good. Take a half ounce twice a day. If finances are not a problem, she could take a full ounce twice a day of the Ultimate Classic. Take 3 selenium twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Get her auric points above 100,000 with her triple cheat chocolate and Cell Shield RTQ. And call us as soon as she gets more information. We'll be back after these messages.
Let's head to Canada. And Keith, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Keith, you're on the air.
Hi, Doc. How are you today?
Hi. Okay, sir. How can I help you?
Well, I have a friend, Doc, that you've met on a couple occasions in Indiana at Stratford, Andre. He's the one that had the liver transplant 8 years ago.
Okay.
Kidney failure, and we got him on your program and cleaned up the arteries in his kidneys. Yeah. But now they seem to be... the arteries are open, the doctor says, but his potassium is high, 4.1, and they're saying that he's going to have a kidney transplant. So we were wondering, is there any way we can regenerate those kidneys?
Well, of course. First of all, the kidney stuff, let's see, what is his kidney function numbers, you know?
No, we didn't get those numbers. We tried to get that from them, but they didn't have them.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be agreeing to anything until you get those numbers. But basically, again, you've got to get...
Doc, what would be a good number there? What would be a good number there? Like, if we get the numbers in the kidney?
It needs to be about 1.
1, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yes, the creatinine levels. Yeah, 1, 1.2 kind of thing. They get up to 2, 3, that's bad, but that gives you some sense of what's going on. When they don't give you the numbers and they want you to do a procedure, that's highly suspicious. Right?
Right.
Okay, so I wouldn't be agreeing to anything until you see the numbers, you get a chance to ask another person for a second opinion. Then, let's see here. Is he urinating? I'm assuming he's producing some urine if his arteries are open.
Lots of urine, yeah.
Okay, good. Does he have diabetes?
Yes, he had diabetes. He went on the Sweeties, and he's not had to take insulin.
Fabulous.
4 needles a day he was on.
Mm-hmm. And now he's not on any.
Not on any.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd get another opinion once he gets the data. Give me a call when he gets the data, the kidney function levels. Like I say, creatinine should be below 1.2 is ideal. 1.5 is not bad, but you start getting up over 2 and 3, then there's a problem there. And so make sure, what does he weigh?
About 160.
160, yep. I'd put him on 9 of the Ultimate Daily tablets today, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. It'll be 2 bottles a month, the Ultimate Daily tablets. And that's going to support increased blood flow through the arteries. It's going to support healthy blood pressure levels. It's that's a good thing also for dilation of the arteries, production of nitrous oxide. Wouldn't hurt for him to get the HGH or HGH. You can have 6 of those at bedtime with a glass of water. And then it has a great restorative power and supports maintenance repair, dilates arteries, and again, gets more blood flowing through those little arteries. And his body weight, he should have 2 Healthy Start packs per month, 1 full dose of each of the 3 products at breakfast, 1 full dose of each of the products at dinner time. And let's go from there. Just make sure you're staying away from all the bad stuff. Fried foods, processed meats, and nitrates, nitrites, oils, and certainly I would give up gluten until we're sure he's not gluten intolerant, but doesn't hurt for everybody to get on a gluten-free diet anyway. Give me a call every couple of weeks if you would, Keith. Bring me up to date. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Moreno Valley, California. And Arthur, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Arthur. You're on the air.
Doc, I have a hyperparathyroid. It's affecting my kidneys. My creatinine level is 4. My kidneys are operating at 20. They say they should be operating at 60. I'm due for an operation, and I've lost 15 pounds since.
Okay, let's stop. By operation, you're talking about removing your parathyroid glands?
One of them, yes, Doc.
Yes. Do not do that. Cancel that. Okay. What is your blood calcium level?
It's high. They told me to stop taking the calcium.
Okay, they should go to jail. Okay, because I've written many scientific papers on this. I'm considered a world's expert on nutritional secondary hyperparathyroidism. When you get elevated blood calcium, you get overactive parathyroids. It means you have raging osteoporosis. You probably have other symptoms of osteoporosis. You might have receding gums, gingivitis, periodontal disease. You could have high blood pressure. You could have kidney stones. You have blood clotting problems, all kinds of stuff. Achy joints, noisy joints. You have any of that stuff?
My stomach is sick. My kidneys are bothering me. I have nausea, and I've lost about 15 pounds.
Okay. Have you ever have any history of skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea?
One of those, I think, eczema on my forehead.
Okay. And did you ever have any asthma or chronic bronchitis as a kid?
No, sir.
You have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, but I don't know about them because I live about 2,000 miles from them, and we don't discuss much family history.
I mean, when you were kids, did they have any asthma stuff?
No, sir, not that I know of. My mother.
Okay. Did you as a kid have any belly pain, or where you complained to your folks that your stomach hurt?
Not that I know, sir.
Well, you'd know. Any constipation where you needed laxatives or fiber to have regular bowel movements?
I think yes, when I was young, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you need to get on a gluten-free diet. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats. And absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats or nitrates, nitrites. Absolutely no carbonated drinks, particularly with meals, an hour before, during, hour after meal, because it neutralizes stomach acid. And then I would make sure that what do you weigh? What do you weigh now?
I'm weighing 175. I was weighing 192.
Yeah, okay, 175. I'd have you take 2 of the Healthy Start packs per month. That's 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine Nutri-Crystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner. I'd also get 2 of the large 240-count bottles of Glucogel, and I would take 15 of those a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would also get your ORAC points, your antioxidant points, above 100,000 with either 6 pieces a day of our Triple Treat chocolate or 5 of the Cell Shield RGQ capsules twice a day. And then for your kidney health, to help more blood flow getting through those kidneys so they work better, I would definitely take the Ultimate Daily tablets. Take 3 of those 3 times a day. That'd be 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. That's 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily tablets. And call me every 2 weeks. And I would definitely not go through any surgery on any parathyroid glands. They want to tell you they're tumors and stuff like that. They just get big when you have raging osteoporosis. And you could have a chronic anemia also as the bone marrow cavity of your bones begin to fill up with connective tissue as a result of this. Is called myelosclerosis, myelofibrosis. Very common for people with your problem to get chronic anemia. And so I certainly wouldn't get any, I would not get any surgery on my parathyroids, and I certainly would not give up calcium. They're giving you wrong advice there, bub. Be back after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Longevity and 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's go to Illinois. And Gary, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Gary, you're on the air.
Hello. My wife, she's had 3 bouts of atrial fibrillation. And the doctor's got her on several medicines.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. Okay, wait a minute. Let me ask you a quick question here. Does your wife have a history of back or neck problems?
I don't think so.
I think she does. Okay, and the reason I ask that is because when you have atrial fibrillation, 99.9999% of the time, there's nothing wrong with the heart. It's a back problem where she has degenerative disc disease or bone spurs causing an impingement of the spinal nerves coming out from between T1, 2, 3, and 4. And these spinal nerves are involved in maintaining the rhythm and the heart rate in the proper ranges. When they get squeezed, the heart rate can speed up, the heart palpitates, and doctors start with medication. Then they put you on pacemakers and defibrillators. They install them. Then they do retroversion where they kill you with electricity and hope you wake up. They're trying to reboot the heart rate and heart rhythm, and then, of course, they kill portions of the heart using ablation, where they run a wire up you and kill portions of the heart muscle so it stops fibrillating, which is kind of just wiggling mindlessly and not very efficient. They'll do and put you on the heart transplant list, and it's sort of a series of events, and they pretty much have a cool source of income stream for about 10, 12 years, but they really don't get to the basic root cause of the problem, which is, in fact, a back problem, degenerative disc disease and or bone spurs impinging those spinal nerves coming out from between T1, 2, 3, and 4. The goal here is to, while supporting heart health, you also have to support maintenance repair of that disc in between, or those discs in between the vertebrae. So what does your wife weigh?
200. 49 years old.
29 years old, okay.
49.
Oh, 49, okay, 49 years old. Does she have any arthritis or high blood pressure, diabetes?
No, her grandma had diabetes.
Okay, it's not genetic. But she has no creaky joints, no poppity joints when she squats down?
She says her knees are starting to hurt.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's, I would suspect that does she have any dental problems, any peripheral or periodontal disease, any receding gums, gingivitis, that kind of stuff?
She's not really had bad teeth, but I couldn't stay on the receding gums.
Okay, yeah, I want to ask her about that. Okay, so at any rate, 200 pounds, what I would do is get her off all the bad stuff first. No carbonated drinks, even ones you think of being as benign as like club soda and ginger ale. All that's got to go because all carbonated drinks neutralize stomach acid and reduce the efficiency of absorption of nutrients and digestion. What we're doing here. So no carbonated drinks whatsoever. Then no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, and no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. How tall is your wife?
5'9".
Okay. And then I would have her take 2 of the Healthy Start packs per month. That's 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine Nutri-Crystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Plus at breakfast and dinner. I would also have her take 15 glucogel capsules a day. This is to support and promote maintenance repair of those discs between the vertebrae. 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner, those glucogel capsules. And then I would have her take selenium for heart support, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. The de-stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And the Ultimate Daily tablets, 3 of those twice a day to support blood flow, healthy blood flow, and healthy blood pressure levels. And so I would have her take 3 of those twice a day as 1 bottle a month because it's a big bottle. And then, if you would, call me every couple of weeks, Gary. I want to know her blood pressure. I want to know her any episodes of palpitations or tachycardia, which is a fast heart rate. Need to know all that kind of stuff. You can give me a call every 2 weeks and just say, hey, nothing's happening. Or give me a call 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and give me a progress or lack of progress report here, and we'll walk you guys through this. Okay, well, everybody, thank you so much. You're really great questions and testimonies today. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.